Now, one of the things Trish did is she cited Revelation chapter 6, verses 12 and 13. This is where it talks about the sun and the moon not giving its light and the stars falling from the sky. Now, one thing, when you understand how to read New Testament prophecies on eschatology, you've got to understand that the writers, whether it's Jesus himself in Matthew 24, or the Apostle John in Revelation, or Peter or Paul, they drew on the illustrations given by the original prophets in Isaiah, Ezekiel, and all the prophets, because they used hyperbolic, metaphorical language that wasn't meant to be taken literally, okay? And let me give you an example of that. First, let's go to Isaiah 13, 9 and 10. This is when Isaiah was prophesying about God's judgment against Babylon. Verse 9, see, the day of the Lord is coming, a cruel day with the wrath and fierce anger, to make the land desolate and destroy the sinners within it. Verse 10, the stars of heaven and their constellations will not show their light. The rising sun will be darkened and the moon will not give its light. Sound familiar? If you were to read Matthew 24, verse 29, Jesus said pretty much the same thing, okay? Then we go to Isaiah 34, 4. This is God's judgment against Edom. All the stars of the heavens will be dissolved, and the sky rolled up like a scroll, and the starry hosts will fall like withered leaves from the vine, shriveling from figs from the fig trees. Very similar hyperbolic language that wasn't meant to take literally. Then you go to Ezekiel 32, verse 7. This is where Ezekiel made a prophecy against Egypt. I will snuff you out. I will cover the heavens and darken the stars. I will cover the sun with a cloud, and the moon will not give its light. Again, that's very similar language that Ezekiel used. Then we talk about Joel. Joel chapter 2, verse 10. This is a prophecy against Judah. This is a prediction of 70 AD, when Joel said, before them the earth shakes, the sky trembles, and the sun and moon are darkened, and the stars no longer shine. Jesus was drawing on that when he said what he said in verse 29 of Matthew 24. Again, another prediction of a judgment against Judah in verse 31, chapter 2 of Joel. The sun will be turned to darkness and the moon to blood before the coming of the great dreadful day of the Lord. So anytime the Lord judged a nation, it was always the impending day of the Lord. Okay, so they use that all the time, not just in the book of Revelation. Then the last one, Joel chapter 3, verse 15. God's judgment against Egypt, the sun and moon will be darkened and the stars no longer shine. So you see the pattern there? Okay, so if you say, well, it didn't happen, Jesus didn't return in 70 AD because the sun and moon didn't stop giving their light and the stars didn't fall from the sky, well, then you also will have to say that God never made a judgment against Babylon, Edom, and Egypt. You'd have to say that these prophecies that I just showed you didn't happen because you don't think the prophecy in 70 AD didn't happen. Okay? So remember, it's figurative. It's not meant to be taken literally. And once you understand that, you're going to have a much easier time interpreting the book of Revelation, interpreting Matthew 24 and 25, the Olivet Discourse, and the epistles that Paul and Peter wrote.